Hey guys, welcome back! Okay, it's been a long time since we've covered any kind of emulation product on this channel, but a lot of the channel's roots lie in emulation, things like MAME. If you remember, we built that gigantic beast cabinet that was just this awesome multicade. Unfortunately, I sold it, which in hindsight seems kind of stupid because that could play all the games that maybe I didn't want to buy dedicated cabinets of. But I gotta admit, sometimes I'm inspired by other people. And about 6 months ago, I think it was 6 months ago, I don't even know anymore, but I was watching a YouTube video by one of my friends, Scarlet Sprites. And he was covering a Vewlix cabinet that he got. And I was always like, In the back of my mind, it's always been kind of neat, but it's modern displays, and I don't play as many of the modern games, although it would be really cool to play things like Street Fighter 4 and 5 on a cabinet like this. So I ended up picking up this Vewlix Diamond Blue. This is not a Chewlix. You may have heard that term before. There's Chewlix and Vewlix. Vewlix is the original Japanese cabinets made by Taito, and there's a couple different models. And then Chewlix is really China's approach at reverse engineering this exact cabinet. But that's kind of where the similarities end. It's cheaper sheet metal. They usually put Pandora's boxes in them. There's cheaper displays in them. And for the most part, everything about them is mediocre in comparison to the Japanese counterpart. This has better sound, better screen, better amp, better power supply, better everything. So if you were looking at one of these and you wanted to get the Chewlix counterpart, you're probably going to end up ripping out a lot of the original components, in which case I don't know if it makes a whole lot of financial sense. So I picked this up from Hadouken Arcade. I'll have a link in the description of this video. He basically imports these from Japan. He cleans them up. Matter of fact, I didn't even touch this. I literally took it right out of the wrapper, and it looks really, really good. The overall quality of it is awesome. And yes, I put some gaudy LEDs in it for this video, but I'm like, hey man, it's modern. Isn't modern all about the RGB lighting? I mean, I watch all these like guys with their modern games and RGB lights everywhere, but I probably won't keep it, but I just thought it was kind of neat for the video. But anyways, let's explore a little bit about this. What's running inside it? What games can it play? And can it be upgraded to play even more games? Okay, so your next question is gonna be, well, what is running inside this? So this is the Taito TTX3, but this is actually the 405 model. Not to be confused with the 404 model, which is actually a little bit better. It's weird, right? You'd think the higher number would be the better system. So the 404 was the only one I could get my hands on, so unfortunately I can't play all of the most current games. But the cool thing is, the PC that comes in this thing, which is the Taito TTX3, can be upgraded. So if you simply flash the BIOS on the motherboard, you can basically put any graphics card in that you want. Now I already have one picked out. I'm also going to upgrade the processor, and while I'm in there, I'll probably upgrade the RAM as well. And that will allow me to play games like Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. Unfortunately, right now, if I try to play Street Fighter 5, it's only going to allow me to do that at 20 frames per second. Not exactly a good experience for a fighting game. But the other cool thing is this image includes all of the Taito TTX2 and 3 games. It also has a couple of other emulators. It's got Neo Geo on here. It has Naomi. It has a Thomas Wave. It's got Laserdisc games, like it's got Time Traveler and Space Ace, Mad Dog McCree. So it's got a bunch of those games that you remember from the arcade, the Laserdisc-based games. You also have a bunch of different other emulators. You've got CPS3 games, CPS2 games, CPS1 games, Cave, so you have like a lot of your SHMUPS on here. It's really cool. The other neat thing about this is it's got this kind of cool feature I'll show you here in a second. It does play gun games, and you end up playing that with the joystick, but whatever, they're on here. There's some different categories like platform games. You've got games like Shinobi, Sunset Riders. The other neat thing is it's got a sports category, so you have your NBA Jam, Hang Time. But where it gets even cooler is there's this special section that has like music videos if you just want to kind of play like some cool stuff. Like there's an 80s cartoon thing where it will just sort of play a bunch of 80s cartoons on the screen as like a screensaver while you're just hanging out in your game room. And there's music that goes along with it. So this thing can just be sitting here and there's some really cool ambiance coming out of it. But why I'm so excited about this is that I can't collect every arcade game. And there are arcade games that maybe I don't want to have the dedicated cabinet of. So how nice would it be to just sit down and play them on something like this? It does have a 1080p screen. It's not a 4K screen. There are kits that'll allow you to upgrade these screens, but this is one of the later gen Vewlix cabinets, so actually it has a pretty decent screen in it, and it looks pretty good from my perspective. In the games I'm gonna play, it's probably fine. Maybe down the road, if the monitor dies or something like that, I might consider swapping it out, but for right now, it's pretty good. The sound system on it is great. You've got 4 stereo speakers, and it has a small amplifier in there. If you wanted to upgrade it, some people will add a subwoofer, right? They'll replace that amp with something else. You can just run the line out of the main unit, right out of the Taito Type X3. There's a 3.5mm jack. You could run that into any amplifier if you wanted to maybe give these speakers a little bit more juice, or you wanted to add a subwoofer or something like that, or you could replace the speakers altogether, although I think they sound pretty good. So if I didn't mention this earlier, this is running the Artax multi-image version 4.1. It's available for you online. I can't give you the link directly to it, but if you go and look Artax multi 4.1, you'll find it. But what's cool about it is it's really got everything on it. I mean, it's a really great multi-image. It very much leans toward the modern fighting games, but it also has a bunch of retro fighting games as well, Neo Geo games. One of the things I really like about it is in the latest image, they've actually incorporated fightgame into it. So if you hook the PC or the Taito Type X3 up to an Ethernet port, you can actually log in with your fightgame account and have it all kind of in one place. So imagine you can do all your fightgame stuff, and then you also have all the retro titles already built into it. So it's really cool. It's meant to be a plug and play image though. It's not really meant to be something that you add games to. It's really meant to be custom made for the Taito Type X3. So what you do is you take the original spinning hard drive out of the Taito Type X3. Once you burn this image to this 1 terabyte drive, you put it in. I put it on an SSD. They don't recommend putting it on a spinning drive. Plus, I don't know why you'd use a spinning drive in 2023. So just put that thing on an SSD and you're good to go. There's a couple modifications you need to make to the Taito Type X3 to actually make it run. Actually, you have to go into the BIOS and you have to disable security, but you also have to set the hard drive to IDE mode, and then that's it. And then it boots right up. So pretty cool. There's really nothing you do after that. So I'll just show you really quick some of the games. I'm gonna turn the volume up here so we can actually hear it. The speakers on it are actually really good too. I was pretty impressed with the speaker quality on this. So let's see, we'll go. Unfortunately, like I said, I need to upgrade some of the components of it in order for me to play the more modern games. So I actually have an i5 CPU on order and also a GPU on order. That should just be a drop-in replacement, although if you do update or flash the BIOS on the Type X3, you can actually add pretty much any video card that's compatible with the motherboard. So I just did SNK versus Street Fighter, SNK versus Capcom, Capcom versus SNK2. I forgot what I did. So on some of the games, to put in a coin, yeah, you press A and then the button.
This battle is about to explode. Fight!
Oh shit. No! Damn, she's kicking my ass. Damn it. Alright, well, she kicked my butt. There's tons of games. So that was part of the Naomi set. So there's SNK versus Capcom 2. There's also Marvel versus Capcom 2, Virtua Tennis. You know, there's actually Afterburner Climax is on here. You know, one of my favorites that's on here, let's see if I can find it. This is actually one that I played at Galloping Ghost, and I never saw it anywhere else. Let me see if I can find it. I actually bought the PCB for this, but it's a bootleg. I was gonna build a dedicated cabinet to it. That's how much I like it. Although I got kind of ripped a new one for liking it. So hold on, where the heck is it? Talking all this smack and I can't find the damn game. Yeah, here it is. So Contra Evolution is actually on here. The only other place I've played Contra Evolution was actually at Galloping Ghost. Now, Galloping Ghost imported the actual Contra Evolution cabinet. They didn't make many of them. The game was a cell phone game, and they did make an arcade release. Now the board I bought from AliExpress is actually, it's right here actually, I'll show it to you really quick. This is actually a bootleg of the board, but it does have a JAMA Edge connector. It's on here. It's a complete remake of Contra, but with modern day graphics. I never played it on the phone. I just played it at Galloping Ghost and was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I mean, if you're a fan of Contra, there's no way you wouldn't like this. All the original play mechanics are here, so I'm excited to see that this is on that image. I also feel a little bit dumb for going and buying that box when it's actually on this image, but whatever. Spread was always my favorite gun in this game. You know what's funny about this game is the stress of playing with a friend too. I used to play this on the NES mostly. I never really played the arcade version of the game. It was always on the NES. But super cool that this is here. It does maintain the original aspect ratio on any of the retro games. So none of the retro games are stretched. There's some CRT filters. They look okay. They're not bad. Let's see if I can find an example of that. So I'll just play the original TMNT. On the original TMNT, you're gonna notice it actually does like almost a curved, you find that a lot in coin ops builds. It's like this curvature that's trying to make it look like a CRT. It's actually kind of cool though. I don't think it looks bad on a modern display, to be honest, and that's tough because most people screw up scan lines, but it actually looks pretty good. Like, it doesn't bother me. Normally scan lines on games bug the crap out of me. But yeah, so it's all here, man. There's a lot here, and it's pretty exciting. So I'm gonna probably do more videos on this as I get to the point where I'm ready to do the upgrades on the PC. I pretty much already ordered all of them, so they're all pretty much ready to go. This is the Vewlix Diamond Blue. Pretty cool cabinet, you know. Check out Hadouken Arcade. He sometimes is slow to respond, but he's bringing in new inventory from Japan all the time. I think this will be one of those cool staples to have in my arcade because I can't just keep buying every dedicated cabinet. So like I said in my prior video, I need to be really selective as to the games I bring in. So something like this will actually scratch the itch for other games that maybe I don't want dedicated cabinets for, or the modern fighting game. So I'm really excited to get that upgrade going because I really want to play Street Fighter 4 and 5 on this. There's also a bunch of these other games that I'm not really as familiar with. There's like a ton of awesome games that I don't even know. There's some great Type X3 stuff on here, like Samurai Spirits looks really cool. I've never played that before. So I'm kind of excited to maybe check out some of these titles too. There's also a lot of really great shmups on here. So anyways, it's gonna be really fun to explore this. It's the Artax Multi 4.1. You can Google that. You pretty much find what you need there. Just Google image and you'll find it. But anyways, this is a theme on the channel. So while it's super hot here in Arizona, I am gonna do a little bit more of the multicade emulation stuff. So be on the lookout because I'm gonna preview one of the newer Rec Room Masters cabinets, because Rec Room Masters is actually back, believe it or not. My buddy Carlos, who runs the company Arcade-1, he bought the rights to Rec Room Masters cabinets, and man, the control panels on these things, they were already awesome when it was Rec Room Masters, the original company. He took it to the next level, so I'm excited to show you guys that. So my next video will probably be on that, and then we're gonna do light guns on the Pandora's Box 10-year anniversary. So we've got a 10-year, I don't know, whatever the hell that 10-year thing is called. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, put your comments below, I want to hear from you. And that's it for now. We will see you on the next one.